Everyone fears the god of the dead, the ruler of the underworld, Hades, but his story is far more complex than the legends make it seem. Long before mortals whispered his name in fear, before the world was divided into realms, there were three brothers who stood above all others: Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Together, they fought in a war that would shape existence itself. A war against the Titans, beings of immense power who once ruled everything. When the battle was over and victory was finally theirs, the three brothers had to decide how to divide the world. There was no argument, no betrayal, only chance. They drew lots. Zeus claimed the sky, a realm of thunder, light, and endless power. Poseidon took the seas, vast and restless, full of life and fury. And Hades received the underworld. It was not a prize, but a responsibility that no one else desired. A kingdom hidden beneath the earth, untouched by sunlight, filled with silence and shadow. While his brothers ruled over worlds of movement and life, Hades descended into darkness, alone. There were no celebrations for him, no glory, no admiration, only an endless realm waiting to be ruled. And yet, he did not resist. He did not complain or seek to change his fate. Instead, he accepted it completely. In that moment, Hades became something different from the other gods. Not a ruler of power or chaos, but a keeper of balance, a silent guardian of a world that every living being would one day enter, whether they feared it or not. The underworld was not a place of fire and torment as many believed, but a vast and silent realm where time seemed to lose its meaning. It was a world without sun, without warmth, where shadows stretched endlessly, and the air itself felt heavy with memory. Here, the souls of the dead arrived after leaving the world of the living, not with screams, but with quiet acceptance. Rivers like the Styx and Acheron separated the realms, and those who crossed them could never return. The ferrymen carried souls into this endless domain, where they would wander through fields of asphodel or fade into the depths of eternity. And at the center of it all stood Hades, not as a tyrant, but as a ruler bound by duty. He did not punish the dead, nor did he seek to control their fate beyond what was required. His role was not to judge, but to maintain order, to ensure that the balance between life and death was never broken. While other gods interfered with mortals, played with their lives, and demanded worship, Hades remained distant, untouched by such desires. No temples were raised in his name, no offerings were made in his honor, because people feared even acknowledging him. To speak of him was to invite thoughts of death, and death was something no one wished to face. Yet despite this fear, his power was absolute. Every soul, no matter how great or small, would one day pass into his realm. And in this endless kingdom of the dead, surrounded by countless spirits, Hades ruled in silence, alone, unseen, and deeply misunderstood. Everything changed on the day Hades saw Persephone, the goddess of spring, whose presence was the complete opposite of everything his world represented. Where the underworld was silent and dark, she was light, warmth, and life itself. Her laughter echoed with the energy of growing things, and wherever she walked, flowers followed. For a god who had spent eternity surrounded by shadows and fading souls, her existence felt almost unreal. For the first time, Hades experienced something beyond duty and control, something unfamiliar and deeply powerful. He did not see her as a possession or a symbol of power, but as something he had never known in his endless solitude. He fell in love, but the gods were not known for patience or gentle choices. Instead of waiting or asking, Hades made a decision that would change both worlds forever. In a single moment, he took Persephone from the surface and brought her down into the underworld, into a realm where no living thing truly belonged. Above, the world immediately felt the loss. Her mother, Demeter, the goddess of harvest and life, was consumed by grief and anger. Crops stopped growing, the land grew cold, and famine began to spread across the earth. What had once been full of life slowly turned barren and silent. The balance of nature was collapsing, and the absence of Persephone revealed just how important she truly was. Even the gods could no longer ignore what was happening, as the world itself began to fade without her. The suffering of the world could not continue, and even the gods understood that something had to change. A decision was made to restore balance, one that would determine the fate of Persephone and reshape the connection between the worlds of the living and the dead forever. She would be allowed to return to the surface, back to her mother in the world of life, but only under one condition: she must not have eaten anything in the underworld. It was a simple rule, yet one that carried irreversible consequences. Unknown to them at first, Persephone had already tasted the fruit of that dark realm. She had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds, small and seemingly insignificant, yet powerful enough to bind her to Hades' world. Because of this, a new order was created. Persephone would not belong to just one world, but to both. For part of the year, she would return to the earth, bringing life, warmth, and growth with her. And for the rest, she would descend once more into the underworld, where shadows ruled and Hades waited. This cycle became the origin of the seasons, a constant reminder of her presence and absence. And Hades remained as he always had been, a ruler of a silent kingdom, neither cruel nor kind, but necessary. He was not the villain of the story, but a god shaped by isolation, carrying a role no one else would accept. In the end, he was not feared because he was evil, but because he ruled over the one fate no living being could ever escape.